I'd like to call to order the meeting of the West Bend Community Memorial Library for Tuesday, October 21st. May we all stand to say the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Till we cover date?
Okay, I would like to ask for a motion to approve the consent agenda, which includes the regular board meeting minutes from last month and also the library expenditures.
I'll make a motion.
Karen?
I'll second.
Joseph? We have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Any discussion? Guess who has discussion? I just have two questions, and I kind of know the answers, Steve, but I will ask you. In regards to the funding, Pentworth Company, that's for children's books, was $5,000. Is that a new company we're dealing with? The books kind of look neat.
Oh.
No? They look
Penworthy. Penworthy.
Penworthy.
Penworthy.
It says Pentworth, but it's Penworthy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're just we've used them before. They
Children's books.
children's books, and they're bound better than
Something.
Scholastic. So
Okay,
it's
good.
same kind of content but better binding.
And then the other one was Impact Networking, which was a business that does improves your business and customer service. Can you give us a little update on what that is?
Impact is actually our photocopy machines.
Is that all?
Yeah, so
Okay.
it's just the 4 photocopiers that we have.
Two in the business office and then one each in the first.
Yeah,
And is that fee, that's not a monthly fee, $1,000, is it?
could be.
$1,000. Well, it
Close to
depends.
1,000.
We've redone the contracts with them, and they originally were gonna punch us up 15%, but I got them down to 5% a year increase. And the thing is, it's kind of staggered, so the 2 machines, I think the 2 public ones, the contract comes due here in October, and the ones in the business office come due in December, so that's when those numbers go up.
And also if we have overages.
Oh, that's true, yeah, if there's overages, then that's going to add to it, then that's a catch can, because we don't know how much that's gonna be at any one point.
Okay, so I saw that. What was it?
Does the 25 cents that per page, or I can't remember how much it was, does that cover this cost? Okay,
Easily.
Well,
Okay.
as far as the public goes,
Yeah, the
Yeah.
public side, yeah.
we could look at that at some point, but we are the highest charge library in Washington County for printing.
Copier? You mean at 25%? Yeah, we did that one year. It was voted on because the budget. We weren't getting money. That was a few years ago.
That was back in 2012.
Is that when it was?
That's when it happened.
2012?
Yeah.
That far back?
That's when it bumped up to 15 cents, and then we bumped another
To
10
20.
shortly after that.
Okay, yeah, Impact, you had 3 charges that came to a total of 1,000, so that's how it was broken up. Okay, no more questions from me. Are there any other questions? Otherwise, we have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Financial reports, Joseph.
Yeah, so, I lost the page. So we only wrote, well, we didn't write any checks this month. We voided a check for a program that was pushed back. And then we had 2 donations. We had the vending machine income and then interest income. That was about it.
Okay, we have the options of the vending machine. That was income from that vending machine, was that much? Holy cow. And I was against it.
does the income from the vending machine just go directly to the city?
No, that goes in.
No.
I mean, is that why you don't know, Steve? Like, does the amount just go to the city, or do you get a report?
Well, the reason I don't know is
Okay.
because I sign off on some of the deposit slips, and sometimes Brad signs off
Oh,
the
okay.
deposit slips. So we, it's not that I look at it every single deposit slip, and we get a deposit slip every day that our business manager is here pretty much.
Okay, but does the vending company give us some kind of report or anything?
They must have given us a report.
Okay, okay,
Yeah,
perfect.
income, yeah.
And for this vending machine amount, is that for 1 month? Or is that quarter?
Probably since they put it in,
Since
which
they
was
put it in.
it's only been about a month because it
There's been a
happened.
few deposits for the vending machine. This wasn't the first. I don't think.
Okay, so they must do it, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't remember when the last one was
Yeah.
off the top of my head.
So, it's only been here for a little, since the flood, really, because they
Yeah.
didn't have a program
Yeah,
properly
that's-
until then.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Any other questions for Joseph regarding the finances? If not, we'll move on to number 4, Library Director's Report.
Actually, could I propose we talk about a musical garden, since we have a guest here? I should have introduced Karen. But,
No, I don't have a problem. Do you guys want me to reopen the consent agenda to be politically correct, to move it up, or should we just,
I think it doesn't really make a huge
because
difference.
nobody watches ours anyway, so
We're just
that's
talking.
okay, we're gonna just move you on.
as long as any action is voted on, I think you're
No,
well within the rules
anytime-
of Robert's rules, so. we
No,
can-
anytime you change any agenda item, it has to, even if it's moved, it has to be approved technically, but I'm not worried about it, because like I said. So yes, I'm sorry, we will move on to agenda item 6B, our musical garden. Where's Jessie?
I know, she's not here.
Only reason I asked is she had communicated with me on the
Oh.
musical garden, and I,
Okay, well, I'm not gonna be able to share my content online, but you have the copy of the
You can, you just
presentation.
do the top one, go back up.
Okay,
Oh,
I'm sorry.
just do share screen window or tab,
Oh, okay.
and then do
Oh,
musical bar.
perfect.
I think we have a new IT.
Yeah.
You're looking for a job again?
Very funny.
Uh-oh.
They'll be posting soon.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm Karen Wysocki. I taught choral music at the high school for 32 years, and I've taught 40 years overall. I've taught every grade level. And about a year and a half ago, I had gone to California to visit one of my friends who lives out there, and we went to the botanical garden, and they had a musical garden. I mean, it was just like, I just got so excited about it, and they had about 5 instruments, and all various sizes, and all different things. And yeah, it was just so cool. So when I got home, I'm just like, what if? You know, is this something that we could possibly do? And so I had approached Roots and Branches, because I'm on the board of Roots and Branches, so they would be one of the vehicle for it. And talked to Missy Proper first, and Mike Faulkner, who was on the board, and they got really excited about it. And then Missy said, well, this would be perfect for the leadership committee. So I didn't even know we had that. So it went to the leadership committee, and I had 4 gentlemen that were super excited about it and took that on as the project. So their responsibility was to find a place in West End. And so they met with me so I could describe my vision of it. It's like, it's not this huge thing. You know, it's on a small scale, and there is room for growth if we want it. And so at the graduation, they presented their 3 choices. One was Keister Island, which is a floodplain, as we found out, and just listed as a floodplain. So that was out, and that would have been so much work, infrastructure, and everything to do that. And so the number 1 choice was the library, and which I thought was great because I love to read. You know, I could spend all day reading every day if I wanted to. And so yeah, that kind of led to other things, and I met with Steve a couple times now, just explaining things. So I did an updated presentation for our board, which I'll see next week, but your meeting came up before, so. But this is kind of like the why. But when I was growing up, I was surrounded by lots of flowers and music. My dad was a graphic artist and a master gardener with many different varieties of flowers. He had a beautiful rose garden. My mom had a music degree and taught piano in our home, so every day when I would come home, I would listen to a variety of classical music, and I loved it. So both my parents loved to read and instilled that love in me and my brothers. I spent many a night under the bed covers with a flashlight reading. So to me, the flowers, music, and reading have shaped me in who I am today. A music teacher who loves music, flowers, and reading. And so I would like to share these passions with the community, not only to honor my parents, but to have everyone experience the joys of making music in a natural setting. So having this musical garden at the library combines all my passions together. And so I was thrilled with the leadership committee when they chose this. I mean, it was just really nice. So the music instruments will come from Freenose Harmony Park, which is one of the leading supplier of musical instruments. They are all weather tested because they go in all sorts of climates. And one of their big things with the instruments is that people can improvise because that's what you're doing, and learn how to do the music. And it fits in with Roots and Branches because our mission statement, one of it is to grow a more beautiful community today and plant seeds of pride and stewardship to improve the natural environment of West Bend tomorrow. So then I tied that together, and how does the musical garden fit this? You know, it will provide a more beautiful community by its colorful and inviting instruments, and you will see them in a minute. It will plant seeds of pride within the community through its unique design, accessibility for all, which it is, and allowing everyone to create beautiful music. Each of the musical instruments are tuned to a pentatonic scale, so if you know anything about music, a major scale, not everything you play is going to sound good, especially if you play two notes together. But a pentatonic scale, no matter what you play, is going to sound fabulous. And so all the instruments are tuned to that. And it will improve the natural environment of West Bend by blending in and enhancing the landscape design already in place at the library. So originally we were, the gentleman had proposed that we use the big area, and so we walked it and didn't think too much about it. And so then I called Freenose because it was a go on our end for the board, and happened to get a response from someone who grew up in Milwaukee. She grew up in Waukesha, and she lives in Minnesota, and her parents live in West Bend, and she had her sister's wedding in 2 weeks. And so she says, well, I can come and walk the site with you and, you know, tell you how many instruments you could have, et cetera, because I didn't know, you know, I didn't really, they're much smaller than I thought they would be, which is fine. And so we walked the site, and when I came back the second time and looked at it, I'm like, you know, this big part is just way too big for what my vision is. I just wanted something smaller. And then when I had talked to Steve, he had said that that big area is used to have concerts and stuff. So people can sit, and I did not want to mess with that because that's important, that there's a gathering place for people to have that. So I didn't want to mess with that. And so Alicia and I, we both agreed that this smaller area would be a perfect spot for it. So we picked out 7 instruments together, and the first one is the Caterpillar Bells, and I know you have a storybook. So this caterpillar would go when they have the storybook walk for the 100 caterpillar. So they can read the book via the storybook walk and then play the caterpillar. So that's the first one. The mushrooms have a lower sound, and you have a big, a medium, and a small. So you've got 3 different sounds in there. So they'll start making musical connections that the bigger the instruments, the lower the sound, and the smaller the instruments, the higher the sound, which is what we taught in elementary music. Then the third one is lily pad cymbals. I saw that, and I'm like, we have to have it because of the frogs. You know, it'll just be a perfect complement to the frogs, and they're just super fun to play. And Steve had indicated that we could move the frogs closer to the garden too if we needed to. And then the griffin, this has a really beautiful, more of an alto sound. They resonate, it's very resonant. It resonates up to 5 seconds, and it can evoke the feeling of painting with sound. And this one is really cool, the serenade. You can play songs using the color-coded chimes and the songbook. So each of the notes on the music is coordinated with the color of the bell part. And so you don't even have to be able to read music, you can just follow the colors and play something right away, which I thought was super cool. If you notice, the mallets on the bottom, all of them, that's like industrial grade steel. So she said unless someone wants to bring a bolt cutter and cut through, nothing's gonna happen to it. And the book too, that is bolted to the instrument, and if something would happen to it, it is replaceable, and that would be my responsibility to take care of that. This is my favorite one. It just has a beautiful sound. It's very light, and it allows the aria to blend beautifully into outdoor settings. I tried to put sounds with everything, but my computer was giving me issues. So, yeah, I'm not very technically advanced.
We all know that.
And I can even do this, is like, wow, that's pretty good. So then the cadence, I love the sound of marimba, I always have. I loved it when the band kids would be practicing their marimbas in the hallway for solo and ensemble. And so this sounds like a marimba with very short sounds, and it'll be a nice contrast because the other ones are a little bit more resonant. And so those would be the instruments that would be going in. Now they just had a circle because we didn't have the dimensions. I mean, she mapped it out on Google Maps, so we know it's more of an oval with a slight slope to it. But this is how they would be laid out, so it is accessible for everyone. Everyone would be able to play it. And it just kind of gives different views of how they would be set up. And then one thing that I wanted was community involvement. And so the high school metal craft classes, I have to meet with them yet. They would build a piano pebble drum, which is a drum that has the holes in it, and it sits in a circle of pebbles. And you take the pebbles and you just run them across, and they fill into the different holes and create sounds. It's kind of like a waterfall. It's really kind of cool. So we said that would go in this area here where there's already some mulch. So that would be separate from the rest of it, but it would be still in close proximity to it. And then we were thinking the elementary schools would add color and interest to the musical garden by building and painting birdhouses. The high school woodshop classes would help with this. I know they've done it for Green Tree Elementary. And it's just a matter of coordinating. And those last two things are like down the road. It doesn't have to be done right away because I have to respect the curriculum that the tech ed teacher has, and I don't want to interfere with that. And then there would be signage would also need to be added to it. So just like flower gardens are a collection of different varieties, textures, and colors, so is the musical garden. That too will have a variety of instruments that are colorful, and when they are played, it will also create different textures of sound. Both can stimulate the senses, which also gives therapeutic benefits. So garden can be many different things to many different people. They can be categorized by their purpose. It could be a flower garden, a rock garden, water garden, vegetable garden, or a container garden. So why not a musical garden? And that's it. So, question?
So it sounded like you said the maintenance would be roofs and
There is no
branches.
maintenance. Okay. No, you don't even have to cover them
Okay.
during winter.
The
And
install.
the way our winters are going, everything's, lighter and lighter.
Who would do the install?
She said that they like to get the community involved in that. I know someone at church that runs a construction business, and I'm sure he could get people together to do it. She said it's very easy to install them. We're using recycled wood instead of steel posts. She says there really is no difference between it, and I like the fact that it's recycled. But she said it's just like building a fence. You dig the hole for the fence, you level it out. Now, her dad living in West Bend, I said, well, we would like to hire your dad for the day, just because he knows and is familiar with the products and how to install them, and he would help us and install, just make sure everything is done correctly.
Keep in mind, maybe the Boy Scouts would be available, because Boy Scouts,
That's a good, yeah.
the Eagle Scouts do get awards for things like that, and even like the birdhouses or that you had shown.
Yeah.
That's something to think, another avenue for you to look
Yeah, I
at.
never thought of that. 'Cause I know we did help out an Eagle Scout last year, roots and branches, giving him some money for the project that he was working on.
Yeah, and
That's a good idea.
any other questions? Oh, I was gonna ask, all these, we have lots of kids, and you know how the kids are gonna be around those
Oh, yeah.
toys. You said they're very indestructible.
They are. I mean, she said she's had musical gardens up for 15 years and there has been a problem. And she said even more instruments than what we have. My original idea was to have 5 or 7, and we did go with 7. But down the road, if I want to add another one, because they come out with new instruments every year, there also is an option, we can expand around yet, because there's that slope. I would like to put a bench on the top of that slope, so if parents are watching, they can sit there and watch their kids, because you're approaching it from the outside, so therefore they could see exactly what's going on in the circle. And she said we could also, there's a sidewalk that goes this way, and then it comes around this way to that mulch area where I had showed you for the pebble piano drum. She said you could also put like 2 or 3 instruments there down the road if we wanted to. And it is no expense to you. I mean, I'm funding a lot of it. I also have a friend of mine that has made a donation to it, and I have someone else that is interested in donating to it. So we have also written a grant from Roots and Branches. Before that, we'll find out in December if we get that. And then we had a meeting with Sharon and Steve, Sharon is our president of Roots and Branches, and Lisa is our director, Lisa Kitsky. So the 4 of us got together about a month ago and talked about it. And we had thought, if the library could even write a smaller grant than what we did to help with like the signage, that kind of thing, that would be great. But otherwise, it's maintenance free. Steve said they would install a camera up there so they could, I don't know. That's why I wanted that's why I wanted
into those cameras.
But that's why I wanted the pebble drum away from it, because I was like, I didn't want them throwing pebbles at the thing, because we could have put that in the middle of it, but I kind of like that being open too. And down the road, we had talked to Roots and Branches in the early development of this project that, maybe they would add some type of a garden there with it. I mean, I have tons of musical plants in my garden, but again, that's down
I
the
think
road.
Roots and Branches did have a garden there a few years ago, part of the butterfly garden.
that could
where
be.
We had a butterfly garden
Yeah.
and that, so yeah. Any questions?
If you were to add instruments, would you notify Steve first?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And he was graciously, I know there's a 4% increase for next year. We're looking at late spring, early summer for this. So we have to wait and see what we get for the grant, and we might just have to absorb the increase at this point. It's about 15.
I'm in West Bend Community Band, and we didn't this year because of flooding, but we play our concert in a big circle, so I could have, Pam Harrison and all? She's the director, she was at Cedarburg.
Okay.
If she could maybe program something to go along with.
Oh, absolutely.
That's what I was thinking.
Oh,
right
that would
away.
be really
That would be
cool.
perfect.
It'd be great if
That
the
would be
band
perfect.
actually played the
Yeah.
instruments.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be super.
I'll talk to Pam.
I mean, there's so many possibilities for it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And none of the instruments are super loud.
So
that
the
is
neighbors
gonna
You should hear the
complain.
kids sometimes.
Now, if I would've gotten the really tall ones, I looked at those, but then I listened to it. I mean, to me, sound is important, obviously, because I'm a music teacher. And it was just this tinny sound, I hated it. And I was like, we're not having that one. And plus it would have been really big, and I could just see kids just like bang, 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 bang.
What you all picked was like the mushrooms, we're gonna sound like the steel around the
Yeah.
slow, and with the plastic for the marimba, that's gonna give you a nice soft hum.
Right,
sound.
right, yeah. And the other instruments are pretty resonant. The bell will sound like a bell, the caterpillar.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the first one I picked. I
That's
saw that and I
super
said,
cute.
I said, gotta have it.
Yeah.
Okay, because this will be a permanent fixture in the library, the Patriots Park, we will need to take a vote on it from the board, just that it will be in the official minutes. So I'd like to call for a motion to approve the authorization of the musical garden.
That's what we're calling it right now.
I so move.
One quick thing, you could always too try and get someone to name the garden and get money from them.
Oh, I have naming rights, it's gonna be named
Oh,
after
you
my
got the,
parents.
okay. Okay.
I'll second the
That's
motion.
probably contributing the most money.
I'll second the
I
motion.
mean, so that you know how, the insurance are very expensive.
Oh, yes. I
But
think so.
that's what makes, when I had 3 different companies that I had looked at, and, you know, Free Notes by far was superior. And they have such a long history, if you go to their website, they have such a history and a track record of success. And they're all over the place, and, I think our most expensive one was the drums, or the mushrooms, because there's an ensemble. I thought was the point of having just one.
I'll
You
second.
know, we really should have all 3 of them. And so that was like over 7,000.
So it's Free Notes Harmony Park.
Yes, Free
Because
Notes
I'll
Harmony
look it
Park.
up, I'll send
Yeah,
you
you
the
have to
link.
have the Harmony Park in there,
Okay,
and
yeah,
then
I'll
it
send
will
the link,
pop up.
I'll look and send it to Pam so she can start planning
Oh,
for this.
yeah.
They start rehearsals in
That would
January.
be super.
Yeah.
And,
Okay, we
in the
have
packet, there's a link for it.
Yeah,
too.
oh, there's okay, okay.
Yeah.
We
so
have a
it's-
motion by Barb, a second by Joseph. All in favor of approving,
The second was Karen.
oh,
Karen,
Karen, I'm
yeah.
sorry. Joseph, you were going like this and I'm thinking, okay. A motion and a second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Well, good luck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's starting to pick up steam now, so it's getting a little bit more real.
It's very exciting.
So I'll present the updated version, Roots and Branches hasn't seen this, they'll see that.
I gotta take my
Next
roots and
month.
branches sign out of my cul-de-sac. We have on Sycamore Street, we take care of that.
Yeah.
It's gotta go in the
But
garage.
I know Lac Laurent, where they built that accessible playground,
Yeah.
they also have some of the free note instruments there, but they're more geared towards younger kids. Whereas I wanted a big variety so adults could play it too. So the first 3 that you saw, the caterpillar, the lily pad, and the mushrooms, I think? Yeah, those are more considered preschool instruments.
That's
and-
where we'll find Steve in the afternoon. He's either gonna be playing chess out there or playing the instruments.
Set up a tripping net too, and
There you go.
And
Thought
then
about that.
from there, then they graduate,
Okay.
you know, they're more sophisticated, so.
You can tell.
But I wanted adults to be able to enjoy it too. I wanted it to be for everybody. And then, I had pictured them all over in the center, but then when I first saw the design, I'm like, oh, that's not what I was thinking. But then when they said, well, this makes it, whatever the initials are, 88 or
Yeah.
EC, okay,
88
88 compliant, I'm like,
Yeah.
well, that's what I wanted.
Yeah.
So it's perfect, and then that's why I wanna add a bench to the top of the slope, is so that, parents can sit there and watch their kids have fun, watch their faces.
If you have the naming rights on the garden, you could ask for somebody with the bench,
With the what?
the bench, to purchase the
They
bench.
should put their name on the.
Like our
Oh, we
benches
can't
that
do
we
it
have.
anymore.
Pardon me?
Are you looking at another bench? Because we don't have room for more benches, I don't think.
Oh, okay.
Well,
But
What she said about
she was
the,
just saying maybe adding one to the area with where the meat.
the stuff was.
that might work.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, we can talk about that.
Yeah.
Yes.
We just don't want to go more, we don't want
No.
to open up the benches again, because we do have a lot of benches, but
You do.
we can make a special exception.
Thank you.
I'll tell you though, those benches get a workout. I buzzed past here, I think it was on Sunday, and there was a guy sitting on the bench, and then there was somebody else sitting by the chessboard by himself. And it's like, wow,
They're still holding up too.
yeah, those were good benches you picked out.
Yep.
Well, thank you very much.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
And this will be in our official minutes, so,
Yeah.
you know, if you needed that, sometimes you
Yeah,
need that
yeah.
and stuff.
I know, and we will write an agreement up with Steve between Roots and Branches and the library board.
A memo of
Um,
understanding.
Yeah, just having, you're right, a memo of understanding so that if something would happen, that, you know, oh, well, this was established already. So we're still in the process of doing that, but that will be forthcoming. So,
Okay. Well,
it's
thank
even
you.
in my will in case that if I die before it gets
Oh, no, I don't know. We don't
I covered all bases
Don't,
here.
don't do that.
I just redid it, you know, like, oh, I
Actually,
should probably put this in there in case, you know.
When they have the band, you know, here, you can be the first one to play the instruments.
Oh.
Wouldn't that be cool?
That'd be
Well,
so
that little
cool.
brains, I'll make sure I get Pam involved in
Very
this.
cool.
A little ribbon cutting,
Oh, we're gonna
yes.
have that too.
Yes,
Yeah.
but then you can be the first one to play.
Well, it depends on
I'm
where
all
we
for
play,
that.
if we don't get rained out again too.
Oh, please, Karen.
We got smoked out one year with the wildfires, remember?
Yes, I
And then
remember.
we got rained,
Oh, yeah.
because you're not gonna breathe all that in.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay, well,
Well, thank you
Thank you.
again.
Thank you.
I appreciate you approving it because now I can move forward on the next step.
Mhm.
So thank you very much.
All right,
all right.
Back
So
to me.
now we go back to Mr. Steve
fall
for
asleep here?
his library director's report.
all right, so I think, let's start with the building update, I guess. Or is that, oh, budget update.
A.
Let's do budget update then, that's fine. So, the budget, there was a slight change in materials. And that was, of course, I did tell Deb that that was a recommendation. The reality is, our budget doesn't have a lot of room to take money from. There's nothing we can really do other than affect materials. If we try to take money out of different areas, you know, that's contractual services, you know, we can maybe shave a little bit here and there, but those mostly are set things. We can't do anything about the bulk of our budget, which is payroll, health insurance, you know, there's not a whole lot we can do.
You see, you did cut some building maintenance, 13,000.
So is the city not
Yeah.
increasing our funding? Is that the root of the
They're increasing our funding, and they're increasing our funding at a greater rate than they are for any other city department
Okay,
at this point. So this has to get approved yet in November. So the other city departments are seeing a 4% increase, and we're seeing about a 6% increase.
okay.
That's still pretty good. When I talked to Jesse about our budget, I said, if we want to reach the midpoint of libraries in Wisconsin for the next 15 years, which would be the time that I would be here potentially before I retire, and maybe, hopefully I retire early, I mean, I'd like to win a lottery. Or something, which I don't buy tickets for, but it's still a dream. If we were to do 7.8% per year over the next 15 years, we'd hit the midpoint of Wisconsin libraries. Each year, we've done a large increase from the city. We've gotten a decent increase from the city. 6% is a little bit less than the 7.8%, or I think I asked for 8% in this budget, and they trimmed off about 2%. So.
And that's why you're trimming the materials.
And that's really the only place I can see that we can
And
pull
part,
from.
part of the reason some checking, part of the reason too is our, you know, how do you say this nicely? Our staff and even our city of West Bend has always been, in comparison to other cities, underpaid. So one of the things the city is trying to do is to bring salaries up to a very competitive level. So they had, some of the money was moved around for salaries. And that's because the city is trying to.
Trying to be competitive. So
Yeah,
we
you're
maintain
trying
our
to be
staff.
competitive. And in reality, they are giving, we've been having very good response from the city because Steve has been very good at proving how underfunded this library had been. So we can't expect to get everything in one year, but we're working on it.
I think if we, you know, we're making good progress, and if we continue to make progress, that's what counts.
Yep.
I'm very happy with what we've done for the past 4 or 5 years, whatever it is.
Yeah, that's impressive.
We were 6 from the bottom, and we moved up the list quite a bit. We'll have to check that I will check it each year to see where we're going, and I'd like to provide a chart for the library board so you can see the visual representation of how we move, but I haven't gotten to that yet. I'm happy with the response from the city,
Yeah.
and I hope that we can continue to have a good relationship and continue funding the library in the right direction.
Do we need to vote on this budget tonight then, or we wait till?
Essentially, the budget, we can vote on it again, but at this point, it comes to the city for
Okay.
the budget
Your
hearing.
approval.
And
I guess what I would say is, we probably should, no, I was gonna say we should vote on it, so then in November, we don't have to have it on the agenda again, right?
We can do
It
that.
probably won't change, because this has been what you've worked out with the city, you know,
yeah,
pretty much so this will go to the common council stating that what they're presenting was approved by our board.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna back step a little bit here. I'd rather not, I mean, you can vote on it now if you want, but there's
You'd
more
rather wait?
budget stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and this applies to capital projects. So we have, and I don't know if it was because we didn't apply our capital project funding to some of the projects that we had. There are a couple of capital projects that we didn't pay for, so the water infiltration we decided to hold back on. And we had some, well, the library slate removal was $17,000. I thought it was $80,000 when we were gonna do that, but somehow the capital improvement budget went to $17,500. But that's taken care of by our
The
insurance, security modifications, and then we had a couple remainders from window blinds and door replacements. So we have some money in our capital project accounts. And we have some projects that need to be done to expend those monies. For the first thing that's on the list is the fire panel needs to be replaced.
Does.
Yeah, and we had put it in the CIP for 2027, I believe, for $60,000. I have signed off to have it done now because we have problems currently, and I don't want to fix those problems on an old panel that isn't going to last. So we're going to get the new panel in with the new sensors, and hopefully everything's good at that point. And that's going to be $28,513.
And that money
Board-
will be coming from the money that we didn't spend on the slate?
Right.
Okay,
And-
so we're taking the money we had appropriated for other things that we didn't need to use or were paid elsewhere, and we're moving them to the fire panel for the year of 2025.
Yes.
Okay.
And then we had our HVAC repairs,
Yeah,
and that should have come out of our capital project accounts. That was about $20,000, $21,000. So we would have, according to my calculations, at this point, $40,396 left in that account.
Did the HVAC come out of that account, or are you saying it didn't?
I don't think it has yet, so
Okay.
it should come out of that.
so once the HVAC is removed, how much would we have left? We should have. I
$40,396.
thought you said we estimated 60,000, and we're spending 28,500
And 21.
and 21. So
We
that
had,
would,
we had 88,000
oh, 88,000.
Okay.
in the account to start,
Okay, so we had 88,000.
according to my calculations.
Okay, so we would have 40,000 left in that capital.
Right. So these are things that actually, when I talked to Carrie, this is money that we have. The board doesn't have to take action on this. We just spend this.
You're just
forward.
reappropriating.
We're just reappropriating it to that cause. We do need the fire panel, and we need to do the HVAC repairs, and there's no reason for us to discuss it really, because those are things that need to be done. And the money has to come
Well,
from somewhere.
technically, it should be brought up to the board, and I'm not sure if we do need to vote on that. We don't have to for this, but I'll have to verify that, because again, per state statute, we are in charge of the funding.
But we were just made aware of it, so I think he can go ahead
And I
and take
think
care
that
of that.
is appropriate
Yes,
enough
yes.
then, okay.
Other things that we're looking at, I'm gonna go specifically,
Out of that 40,000.
yeah,
Do you have to
And
spend
you're
that
looking
this
at
year?
that for this year.
that should be this year.
Okay.
You better
And-
get you moving.
Yeah, so, I,
You got like 2 months, but.
I know it. Brad and I had talked about self-checks. We have Envisionware self-checks. These have caused some challenges over the past 5 years. The premium product is I think a Biblioteca product that makes a premium product. The cost for those self-checks is twice as much as what we paid for Envisionware.
And maintenance is more too.
And the maintenance is much more as well. Envisionware's created a new product, they say it's better. They're offering us a discount to replace our self-checks. We can get those replaced for $25,000. If we sign the deal this month, that's when the deal actually expired last month, but we didn't get to it, so.
What were the major problems with the Envisionware?
Major problems were printing. Hubs were a problem, but printers were a big problem.
Printing the
Yeah,
checkout?
the checkout
The
receipts,
checkout
yeah.
receipts.
A lot of jamming going on. We've actually got a hub that's falling off the top of the, where it's situated. It's still falling off. I've tried to stick it back in there, but it just keeps falling off.
They did some serious re-engineering, and the printing is no longer the same printer that we have. It's a better printer
From Envision?
from Envisionware.
Okay.
And instead of a hub, everything is hardwired.
And what was the difference in price between the two? You said it was pretty
Well-
substantial. You said one was 25,000 and what was the other
Yeah,
one?
Biblioteca, the premium product is about $50,000, and then the annual service agreement was, I think, $3,000 up to $7,000.
Yeah, the thing with Biblioteca is that they have a product that's in ways more advanced than Envisionware, particularly in that they have pushed a lot of their computing portion for these things onto the cloud. So for example, with the Envisionware ones, if I want to get data on how many checkouts an individual machine is, I have to go to each machine individually, log into it, and then go through this process, which is not easy. I did it, we did it earlier this year, and I went through every month, and it was not a simple thing. Biblioteca, on the other hand, you just go to the cloud, it talks to them, brings it down. That's just one example.
Okay.
Another benefit is they have a local service person that's dedicated
Yeah.
to Biblioteca's products.
He used to work with us when we had Biblioteca machines long before those ancient ones we used to have when we were 3M. Same guy,
Okay.
very responsible.
Okay, let me throw in one question outside. This would have been 25, that would have left 15,000. Did you have anything to use with the 15,000?
The last thing on my list right now is we didn't finish up our blinds in the library, so we would I'm looking at meeting with
So,
them tomorrow to find out what the remainder would be for the
Let's take
blinds
a-
to do in the library.
so if we look at this, what do we have in our
We have, yeah, we have,
in our in our library strategic plan, we have 107,000. And in our technologies, we have 38,000. Now, we always could move different funds, but we do have funds, and I'm throwing this out to the board, to say, do you want to take, what was the difference in your annual contract?
It was I think it was, you know what, I can find out.
Was it substantial?
It was substantial between Biblioteca and Library. I can see
Okay.
if I can find that.
The only thing though is they have somebody here,
Yeah.
which is a important, a valid thing. I'm throwing this out so the board can think about this. I mean, we do have money in our funds,
Yeah.
and if Bibliotech would provide quicker means of identifying some checkouts and stuff, which is important, our accounts are important.
The other thing is just to point out as well, referring to maintenance, with Envisionware, we don't know who we're gonna get. And we get individuals, we will not necessarily get the same individual twice,
Okay.
and it creates a little bit of a disjoint once in a while because they don't always have the same skill sets. Each group doesn't necessarily have the same skill sets, so you don't know what's gonna happen, you end up getting somebody back out. And I will be quite frank, and at one time, I saw one of them just slam the thing down, which I did not appreciate at all.
I guess from my standpoint, I'd like to throw it out to the board to ask for discussion, but as long as we're replacing it, you know,
I'd rather
sometimes,
upgrade. I would rather upgrade.
So
We have the
what-
funds to move some funds, get something that's going to be better.
Okay, and we don't have to take action today on
Okay.
this. If we're talking about upgrading, I think I'll bring it back next month.
okay, and that sounds good. You can give us a little more information.
Yep. I'll get
And do some more
information, get an updated
investigation.
Quote from Biblioteca and see if I can get
Yeah.
them to give us a discount.
Because if it's a better machine, you have a local rep, it's just, makes sense.
Do you know, Brad, as far as like the Cloudflare issues that we've had when the internet goes down, if the cloud-based Biblioteca machines are going to be affected by those kinds of outages?
Always be a possibility.
I
Would it be
believe
more
it's-
of an issue than the Envisionware though?
No, yes and no, because Envisionware also can be affected by that.
Right.
However, the only thing really affected by something of that nature, well, I'm trying to think how, yeah, it would be affected all along, because what happens is you have to authenticate against the database in Polaris to do any checkouts, and that's all done through the internet. So if the internet goes, you just got a hunk of metal there,
Yeah, wait.
so it doesn't really matter,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, well, it's something for us to think about and for Steve to get a
Okay.
little bit more information for next year,
Let's-
month. So we will put that on the November agenda.
That's I think that covers most of the budgeting information. And then I have, or do you want to take action on budget before I move on to the next stuff?
Technically, let's vote on it.
I would say
Then
let's
it-
just vote
yeah.
on it. Then it's
I'd like to call for a motion to approve the budget, the final budget that we see, which is going to the Common Council. May I have a motion?
I'll motion.
Joseph?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
All right, then I want to go on to the building status as it is right now. Couple things, and as far as the I'll talk about the restoration. There's a couple things that will be costs that we should probably consider moving forward. We don't have any more. We do have Patrons Park Fund. So what happened with the flooding, I don't know that it was the street was so swamped that the sewer in the street backed up, or if it was just the mulch on our sewer in the front there that caused the backup in front of the library. The mulch is a problem. We have to figure out a solution to reduce the amount of mulch or hold the mulch where it belongs, change the product, whatever that needs to be. If we have another downpour like we had, we're going to have the same problem again, I really don't want to deal with that. So that's one side of the equation. Along with that, our building maintenance will have to do some caulking on windows, and, you know, but that's still not gonna help us if we have this kind of situation. We'll still have water coming in through the door or through the walls.
I think some of the houses down the street were flooded because there were dumpsters outside of those houses.
Yeah.
So I don't think it was just us. So I think this might be more of a city problem, and I don't know what the city is planning on doing. I would assume they must be doing some things because there were a lot of ticked off people.
Well, I hope that we can have regular maintenance of our storm sewer and make sure that that's cleaned out the best that it can be. But if we have that storm sewer covered, there's nowhere for the water to go anyway. So if that's our fault, and I'm not gonna say it's our fault, that's not right. If the insurance company is watching this, that's our responsibility, is make sure that stays clear. And if we put too much mulch down and that covers that, that's a problem. So it's just something to consider. I don't have a solution other than I've talked about all the different things that we could do with different people, but I think that's more of a, it's not a Steve specialty. I would remove the mulch and just put grass in and be done with it, but that's me. We want this place to look beautiful.
Who makes that decision?
Well, this is, I mean, as far as the grounds go, that's, the library board has to choose what we're going to do.
I don't think we chose mulch. I don't think we were into that level.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
Well,
what?
I don't think we would micromanage.
No,
No.
but, you
I
know,
guess what
that
I'm
might
saying
be
is-
something is to look at.
a landscaping plan of some sort that might, I mean, I think that it's not too far-fetched to say that we need to have some kind of landscaping plan. We had, when the library was built 20 years ago, there was plants that were put in that were probably not expected to go 20 years. And they're here. And then we have the mulch situation. So I don't know, but that might be something that we want to consider in the future. And I would propose that we look at that as a solution to that side of the equation. It's not gonna happen quickly. But the
So
others,
that would be something we would maybe put on for looking at early part in the beginning of the year.
yeah,
What may be done in the spring to help so if we put that down and keep that in mind for one of our
So-
agendas.
yeah, my directions to the landscaping company is to just put as a minimum layer of mulch, not overdo it, because I think they added a lot more than they needed to this year.
People do things. They think they were doing us a favor, probably trying to
Yeah.
help with the trees and stuff like that.
And if we can remove mulch in certain areas, I'm gonna ask them to do that, so that's
Turf.
as far as I'm gonna go.
AstroTurf
Yeah,
with
I know,
with
'cause I'm
holes so it
thinking, like,
drains.
Something easily to maintain, 'cause
Yeah.
who's gonna mow the grass?
Well, AstroTurf, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right, then you'd have to mow the grass if you mulch.
AstroTurf takes maintenance too, though, so.
Yeah.
And stones would probably
Just throw 'em.
just
Concrete.
concrete.
Um,
Okay. Well, it's not for us to decide right now.
Not for right
Okay.
now, but it's something that is a cost that will be coming up to solve that, unless we can find a way to do it without a cost, I don't know. The other side, we looked at the sewer backup in the basement. We are getting a quote to install a backflow valve in the basement. They'll have to dig into the concrete. They'll have to pull out some of the new carpeting that we just put in and then put that new carpeting back down if we do that. But we won't know what that costs.
What is the backflow? Is that,
That prevents the sewer from coming back into the library,
It's
so
basically a one-way
it's a
valve.
one-way
Yeah.
valve.
okay. The funeral home in Milwaukee on 60th and Lincoln had one of those in their basement. You know where the sewer backup came? It backed up in every one of their toilets. So that's something to think about.
It is something to think about.
It is pressure, and pressure is gonna go wherever pressure goes.
And I spent $4,200 fixing my basement water
Yeah.
flood, so, yeah.
No, did you get one of those backup
We
ones?
did,
You did.
yeah.
So you're,
Which-
okay.
By, the physics says that that shouldn't go
No,
back
I
into the
know, I
library
was, yeah,
in any way.
yeah,
But-
sorry to bring that up, but a friend owns the funeral home and said they couldn't believe what was happening.
No, I couldn't
I
either.
think that's a failure of their backflow valve, because
Maybe.
that
That
should.
sounds-
Yeah, they, through my concrete and a cast iron pipe, yep,
Okay,
very loud noise.
okay. Moving on.
You're
And
gonna have a
then
quote for that, Steve?
we're getting a quote for that, and while the plumber is here, we're also getting a quote for water conditioning for the library, so, we know what West End water is, I don't need to explain it.
It's full of all those wonderful earthy minerals
Yes.
Forever
and
chemical.
hard water.
So, we have a water softener only on the hot water, which I questioned long ago. I said, we don't even use hot water in the library, really, because by the time the water gets hot, you're done washing your hands. So this will reduce the likelihood of us replacing bathroom valves every month. I think, I don't know, you know how many we do a month or a year.
Seems like every couple of months we're doing something somewhere
Yeah.
on average.
Yeah, that hard
We've
water.
got 10
Leaks
bathrooms.
we
We
have
have 10 bathrooms total technically, including the one in the basement. Actually, 12 if you include the ones in the LRC. And then some of them have 2 sinks. So.
Okay.
So now I'm gonna talk about money,
Okay,
because the rest of this is all covered under insurance.
okay.
Carpeting arrives, we were hoping that our carpeting would arrive last week, Wednesday. It is going to arrive tomorrow, I'm told. And it will take about 2 weeks for them to do the carpeting project, which moves my timeline a little bit. We still should be in shape to do, I believe there's an election on the 5th, 6th,
Fourth, I
Fourth,
think.
to my knowledge.
4th?
The first, I don't think we have one up here
No,
though.
not here, we
Okay.
shouldn't have
I
one.
do not think,
No, I think last year we had one.
Okay.
well, last year was a
Yeah,
big one,
yeah,
yeah.
so I don't
But I
think
mean,
we have
I
one
don't
here
think
yet.
there's anything,
No.
right, I don't think there's anything,
In West End.
unless there's some judges, but I don't know.
Yeah, somebody did send me a question about it. so
But I
was
didn't
like,
hear any,
"Ah."
I didn't even hear anything about if there would have been a primary in September, and I don't think we had.
No,
But
usually local
August,
stuff
the
happens
s-
in April.
August, no, there's an August primary now and a November election. That's always standard, but you don't always have people on the ballot, and I don't think we do. I think the judges are spring ballots.
Yeah.
Okay,
I-
well, that's good.
So that, we should be okay for anything past that November 5th time, although they might still have some cleanup to do as far as the circulation workroom and the adult services office.
That's more behind the scenes.
More behind the scenes. And we have some electrical that might need to get done before, so we might have some cones around some things until the electrical's done as well. So those are the things that are outstanding. Story room needs to be done, circulation workroom, adult services offices, the electrical, and then, not that it concerns this board, but the LRC rooms, they're going to do flooring in the 2 rooms down there yet, but otherwise the basement is done. So if anyone wants a tour, I can give them a tour.
Okay.
That's the building update, and you got the staff reports.
Staff reports. I saw on, I had a couple on both of them. One, the volunteers. We are going, the city does not do anything with our volunteers. We just turn the forms in with them. They do not approve volunteers, do they? Because that's out of their purview.
They don't approve volunteers, they do background checks for volunteers.
Okay, I do remember them
So
doing
that's why we
background
go
checks.
through that process
Okay,
with the city.
got that.
Um,
Good reason.
And,
Okay,
yeah, so we use the city form because it's standard for volunteers in the city, so we're covered liability-wise as far as we're doing the same process as everybody else is. and we're doing the background check, and that's what we do, but, we do need to know who applies for a volunteer for the library, because then we can check on their, application.
Library status. If they have books out, they won't become a volunteer.
Well,
I'm just kidding. Late books, I should say, let me clarify
we
that.
can
Late-
work something out, and
They don't use the library if you're not.
I do know that my wife supports this library quite well with her library fines, so.
Nope.
Oh my God.
I have friends like that too, they just,
So-
there was something else on one of the reports, but I didn't write it down, so I apologize, so I won't bring it up.
I think that's it.
Okay, library director's reports.
Oh, wait.
No, we did that.
There
No,
was,
we,
No,
oh,
presidents.
presidents.
there was one thing that Brad was gonna add for our,
Yeah, just a quick final swan song report for you guys regarding our public computers upstairs. So at the beginning of the year, Microsoft in its infinite wisdom decided to force 24H2 feature update out on all the machines. And while I was able to get that particular update onto the staff machines, the public machines protested vehemently because as soon as I tried to apply it, they then got into an infinite loop. And we consulted with Monarch about this, and due to this data and whatnot, there was certain things that were missed, but it was discovered that they could not force the update on the machines that existed at that time. And at that time, we had 12 general purpose machines, an express machine, 2 job centers, and a genealogy machine. So we decided that what we needed to do was, this was about what, April, I think?
yep,
March, April timeframe, we decided to say, okay, we're gonna shift and we're gonna have to replace the machines rather than, because there's just no way to make this work any other way. So what we decided to do was, we looked at a couple things. We looked at, as many of you know how they're set up, they're 3, 3, 3, and 3. We discovered over time that the middle machines at each table were not being used as much as the other ones. So we decided to minimize the cost. We would, instead of getting 12 general purpose machines, we reduced that to 8. We just took out the middle ones, the 4 middle. We kept the express machine, and also based on lack of usage, we determined that the job center machines and the genealogy machines no longer fit that purpose, particularly so since we have all microfilm now online and they're on all machines as is. So it really doesn't really fit that purpose anymore. So we replaced everything, so we're down to 8 general purpose machines and an express machine, 9 total machines. They were put in September, and the Monarch system people are overseeing the updates and maintenance of them going forward. So that's kind of where we're at with them. We're tweaking a couple things right now at the end here, but it's been going pretty smoothly since. That's what we're at.
And I don't know if everybody caught in Steve's report, Mr. Brad is leaving us to become a director in Mayville. So we will sorely miss you, Brad.
Yes.
It's been fun.
How many years? You've been here like 20?
14.75,
You almost made 15.
almost.
Okay, long time.
Good time.
Is the office almost cleaned out?
Actually,
He's got 2 weeks yet.
it's better than it was.
Alrighty, well, thank you for your service.
Steve will be able to find
And-
anything he needs.
And good luck in your
Thanks,
new
guys.
job.
Appreciate it.
I'm sure you'll do very well.
And they're Monarch too, so.
Yeah, so I'm not really going that far
No,
away.
you're not.
Right.
Okay.
What's in Mayville? What's one Mayville?
My parents
Why
are in
Mayville?
Mayville.
By Mayville? It's a newer library. It's only 2 years old.
Nice.
Fancy.
Oh, wow.
It's still got that new library smell.
they'll be able to kick everything down the road
Blame it
for
on
the
the new
next
library.
director.
You're from a 30 minutes from here?
What was that, Jay?
Yes, it's about 30 minutes from West End.
Yeah,
Yeah.
about
That's
30
right.
minutes, yeah.
I'm still learning all the, areas around West End. Been 7 years, still learning. All the little small town houses.
Find all those little shortcuts.
that too.
Okay, next is the library board president's report. I had put together a document and I sent that out, and I apologize for sending it out today. It was just something that I thought of. We've often wondered what needs to be on our library board agenda. So I put together, in this listing, there's 6 things that I've listed, and they really pertain to, the board has approval based on state statute of almost anything, even the building. But hopefully we're trying to get the city to take over most of the building repair, things like that. So I didn't even put that on there. But it would be anything that would require a contract. Anything like the garden, the musical garden would be a permanent structure. Anything regarding goals or changes to current goals. Things regarding additions to the library, like the vending machine. Not that they always have to be approved, but just that they should be on to make the board aware. Issues that the board needs to be aware of. I know when you moved the voting from the story room to outside, a couple of the board members got hit up by some people saying, why didn't know that this is going on. Not that they should really have to worry about it, but you know how people are, they worry about everything. And then requests from the city
I think
county.
it was like more concern about the incident, when the person
Oh,
came
when
in
the guy
with a
came
knife.
in.
Yeah,
Oh. And that you actually did update us on.
yeah.
So,
That's why we made the change.
yeah,
Or was part of the change was
so.
the, yeah.
Protect the kiddos.
So if anyone comes up with anything else, this can be a living document, you know, and this kind of makes it easy for us to see what's on the agenda. We don't need to do the day-to-day, you know, whether you're gonna go grass or gravel around the trees outside.
Well, as far as the landscaping plan goes, you will approve
Yes,
that, whatever that
landscaping,
is.
well, yes.
Unless, you know, Mike Inch says, hey, I'll do you a favor and take the stairs.
I just tell him to cut the grass and do the snow.
I always ask.
I know you do. Okay, any questions for me regarding the items on here? And like I said, if somebody comes up with something, just bring it up and we'll add it to the list. All right, with that, our favorite, no, not our favorite. With that, we are moving on to agenda items for consideration, and we will talk about the strategic planning.
Yes. So we started strategic planning a couple of years ago with Paul from the UW Extension, and we moved on.
Didn't we,
And I don't think we ever really completed that.
Paul moved on, you mean?
Paul moved on to, from working in Washington County. Is he in Ozaukee County? I think so, I'm not sure.
But
He's in Ozaukee.
there was the other guy too, Teschendorf or something, that was Paul's boss, who was economical development.
Yeah, I don't know that he got involved in our strategic planning at all.
Okay, so Paul left, okay.
Yeah.
What about,
Sorry.
Well, I was just gonna mention that I don't know if we ever truly finished that strategic plan process.
We didn't do
Because
that.
the last thing I had was a draft from like April of 2023 or something like that.
Yeah.
So,
and that was through that company that did the presentation about Lake Geneva, the renovation of Lake
Yeah.
Geneva?
Oh, that was
No, that was-
FEH and they
that
did
was
the.
that was the engineering
architect.
plan.
Yeah,
Engineering plan.
So our building plan did get put together pretty well by our building maintenance team in West Bend. So that's
So
pretty well
that was a
established.
different plan, and this is the strategic.
So we got that taken care of, and now it's everything library related. Like, what do we do for programs? What do we do for our collections, that kind of thing. That's the side that needs to be dealt with yet. And we did some of that visioning a while ago. Our board's changed since then. And it should be reviewed every few years anyway. So Wills has given us a great I think, a great value in their proposal for strategic planning of $20,000 is the most it will cost us to do it, and we know that we've already talked, and there's some savings because of the location we're at. There's travel's not as going to be as expensive as it would be for some other libraries. They know libraries in Wisconsin. Wills is at every Wisconsin Library Conference. They manage our digital collection for the state of Wisconsin. They manage cooperative purchasing for things in Wisconsin, for libraries in Wisconsin and schools. So they're a pretty good partner in this planning process. I have reached out to other companies and I sent both proposals to you, Wills, and the other one. I don't think we can get the value out of going to somebody out of state who doesn't understand Wisconsin libraries. And when I did meet and talk with those people, they tried to explain how Wisconsin libraries work so differently than the libraries that they're familiar with. Was the first hurdle, and then the cost was astronomical. So some companies are charging $20,000 just to do a survey.
So what is our intent in going to Wills? What will they be totally providing us? Have we given them have you given them what you're looking for? Are they taking this into consideration?
They are going to provide, just like their proposal, and this is what they do for libraries throughout the state. And actually they're doing all the other libraries in Washington County. I don't know about Kewaskum for sure, but I know that they're doing Hartford, Germantown, and I think Slinger Library.
So why don't we just copy one of theirs?
Because our community is different. We want to be,
Much bigger.
we're much bigger, yeah.
They also did
So-
Monarch.
They also did Monarch, yeah. So
Okay. So where would the money come from?
it would come from strategic planning, I would say. Library strategic plan, which is $107,000 in it. I think that's what that would be.
And will they provide us with a blueprint of where we go, or are they just gonna do a high level?
I have to bring up the email, but
I read kind of.
Yeah, I would, no cost of that. Yeah, I think what needs to happen is, you need to know what you want to do as a leader, manager, director, and what your plan is, because that dictates what they're gonna do in their strategic plan. And $20,000, that's like DC money. I think it's cheaper.
It should,
Not.
what, it's like DC money?
Yeah, that's a lot of money for doing a plan.
Oh, it is.
You know, it's just me. That's a lot of money. Because all they're gonna do is, put in what you tell them to do, and some AI or something gonna crunch numbers and whatnot for them. It probably would cost them, $1,000 to do that. And they're gonna charge you $15,000, $20,000 to do what you probably could do yourself, or get help cheaper doing that. That's just my thing.
well, they're going to survey the community. They're going to do the research of all the statistics for the community. So in the proposal, you'll see that phase one is setting the stage, and they do the demographics workbook of the community, pulling from different data resources, and their planning team develop a stakeholder map. Then they do a questionnaire. They administer the questionnaire. They will include people from the government, so it's engaging our city representatives as well as our library board representatives. And they'll develop that calendar for the project. It'll be I think 3 to 6 months is what they usually plan for this. So then they'll do their SOAR assessment with the library staff. They'll have a board conversation. They'll do their community survey. They'll go through the data dashboard. They'll do stakeholder interviews and community conversations, probably both in this community. So they'll have somebody here doing that one-on-one work. And then they'll put together the plan. So
And is this only one person you reach out, one organization, or you have multiple? because it's a deal with, when you use these things, it would be best advantageous to get at least three.
Yeah.
So you compare the cost and what these three different entities do, versus just go for one.
We did compare three, so the other two were, I did send the two proposals, I think, to the board.
I only have
I
one.
only saw the one.
You didn't see and was it just the Wills one that you got?
No.
Yeah.
I think
Thought I
you
sent the other one
you
as
sent
well.
me one, you sent me two. I thought you did send.
Okay, I only sent two to Deb then, I guess.
Okay.
And because of the way you send it, I can't tell who it all goes to. You had that problem too, remember?
Yeah.
Yes. We really should get you to
They just
send
gave me
it.
a stickler, because,
No.
my proposal, well, was kind of about it.
Because it was sent to you, because you're the first
It's always
one.
a minimum of three.
Yeah.
You compare the three, and see
I'll
what,
find it,
you know, what's, what they all offer, and what's the pros and cons of each three. And you're not rushing things, because they're cheap or not, but just what you want as, director, and what's beneficial for the library.
Yeah, and well, the other one I sent to Deb, apparently and only Deb, sorry about that, was $57,000.
So that's me.
$47,000 to $57,000 is what he said to start, and uh-oh,
Did we lose power?
I don't know.
I'm here.
All right, good.
Yes.
The screen
Oh,
went
it's back on.
dark.
And then I started a conversation with another group there was the $20,000 for the survey, and I was like, that just for a survey, we can't do that. So I don't know, and I don't know that I can get it cheaper, and I guess I don't feel like I'd have the expertise that I have with Wills, with anybody else.
You gotta probably put out in what you actually want. Because I think that's what they're guessing what you want, and you're not basically articulating what you want from them. So they give you the whole broad spectrum, $50,000, $20,000, because they don't know exactly what you want. So probably nail down what you want in the survey, what your goal is in my mind. Pinpoint down to, I want this, and this is what I want using it for. What are you using it for? Why have it? Those things. And that would narrow down and probably the cost too. Because some things you might do yourself, or locally, or cheaper. But I'm saying, you didn't basically start, because they're guessing what you want, and they're giving you the mood here. And you're like, oh yeah, but that's kind of costly. Some things might be cheaper. It's just me. I'm sorry. I'm on a boat here.
No,
No,
that's
that's all
okay.
right.
No, that's the reason we have discussion.
Yeah.
I can go and ask everybody for input. Joseph, have any input?
I mean, I can't say I'm an expert at making strategic plans, so having someone who knows what they're doing could be valuable. I wish Jessie were here, because she was involved in the last time we were doing the
When we did the
strategic plan.
Yeah.
Because when I first joined the board, I think she was just working on that plan. So I didn't really do much with it at that point.
Tim, are you on the call?
Yes.
Tim, what is your feeling?
Ma'am.
What is your feeling, sir? You usually have good input.
Well, that's nice of you to say kindly. Here's my take on it. I don't know about the dollars amount, right? Like, I compare it to the type of stuff we do here, and the scale is a little different because we're a bigger organization. I like Jay's point about making sure we're getting the best bang for the dollar and all that. I guess when I come out of this whole thing when we're done is if we have a new strategic plan, we should live, eat, and breathe by it, and that's what guides what we do as a board every single time we meet. And we get updates about that. So even to the prior thing you sent out, Deb, there are things that, sometimes we're below the week, sometimes we're, too high and we're not asking the right questions.
Yeah.
It should drive how we operate and how Steve operates the organization. So we're gonna invest in the money, and that's what we totally determined fine, but then I believe it's our board's job to then make sure we are following that plan, and it's not something that Steve and us put on a shelf and we don't do. I just wanna get our return on investment on it. I like some of the things in the proposal, I just don't know what to compare it to, because honestly, I've never done a strategic library plan for a public library before. So that's my 2 cents worth.
Okay.
I think that's interesting because like, it sounds like Tim, you're coming at it like, what's the strategic plan for the library board? But it could be what's the strategic plan for the library as a whole? Like, are we looking at number of programs? Are we looking at? I think that's
It's both.
where Jay is coming in, like, we need to come to them with what we exactly want out of this strategic plan. Like, is it the board's plan or is it the library plan?
I think it's both.
Could we,
What the library as a whole does, but also what this, the library, this particular library itself, because everything's different. Every library's different. Every library is different with their staff, when they operate. But as a whole, you have those goals there, what the library does. But then underneath that, we base on what the library does. This is our staff. This is how our staff operates, and these are our programs. This is what we do in this particular library. Those are things that need to be accomplished in the strategic plan. And like Tim said, yeah, it's a breathing document. This is what we live by as a library. And you live by those goals, strategic goals, plans, whatnot. That's how these things work.
So
so,
are we able to get an example of what they did for another library? Like as I hear Jay speak, like, I don't want this plan to be low in the weeds, like you should create this programming and this programming. It should be, we are gonna expand programming, and then we heard the following pieces of feedback from our staff in our library. Like, I guess, maybe seeing the plan of what another library got might also ease my mind in the investment. I do see a lot of hours of time being built into this, of meeting with community people, meeting with the library board, meeting with the staff, all of that. And staff time equals a good chunk of money. Like that I don't wanna deny, but I'd like to see maybe what the end product is. Or an example of that. Maybe that would ease my mind, I don't know how others feel about that.
if you go to the Germantown Community Library website or Germantown, you will see a strategic plan that Wills did. And the reason I know about this is I got into a discussion with somebody on the Germantown Library Board, and we were not in sync on what my vision of a strategic plan was and that person. And in reality, we were talking the same thing. We were just spewing different words. This was a strategic plan that I'm familiar with, strategic plans. So I think maybe what we need to do as a board is take a little time for our board to go out, maybe look at these strategic plans. Monarch has a
Compare to
strategic,
Monarch's.
Monarch also has a strategic plan from Wills. Take a look at it and see what is going to be provided. If we hold off till next month, will that be a problem?
It just pushes our timeline probably out. So right now, they were talking about February, I think.
Okay.
Depending on how many people they take on as clients, that might just push us out further, so.
But we haven't really had one that we've been using for a while.
No, what we've been doing up to this point is I looked at all the survey results we have, and people want these things, and I'm like, no, that sounds like something we can do, and if the opportunity comes up, we do it. If we don't have the opportunity, we don't do it, so.
Well, if we push it out 1 month, that would mean they probably wouldn't get it to us till March, which would mean in the beginning of the year, we're starting out with all the new things that we need to do. But I think it would give the board a little bit more
What was that?
time.
That was starting it in February.
It would be, yeah, it wouldn't be
Yeah.
Oh,
getting to
starting
us,
in
yeah.
February,
Yeah.
okay,
It's just another month.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, if it started in February, say it takes 5 months, it would just go out 1 month, which then it would be more in a time frame. When did they say they'd get the report to us, or they didn't?
July.
July.
Well, if they're starting in February, we probably have a little bit of time, possibly they
But the
may,
thing with strategic planning, they get the data now, so things won't be implemented until next year about this time.
probably.
strategic planning based on what you wanna do next year,
So
not the current year.
with wills, we can choose what,
Meaning that we're right now in 2025, and we're going into 2026. So strategic planning base will be for 2027.
Yeah.
January of 2027, which
Correct.
would start new. So,
so I honestly don't think that there's another vendor that can do what Will's can do. And definitely not at the price that Will's proposing. If there are things that we don't want Will's to do, the prices that they listed, if we say, well, we don't wanna do this part of this plan, we can pull that out.
I don't think that that's what it is right now. I think what it is the board getting a comfort level of what type of product they're gonna be providing.
Right.
Yeah.
Things are not easy when it comes to planning, and planning is always done 6 months to a year out.
Yeah,
So if you plan it right now, right now it's done. Whatever your boys are doing, it's, the end of year evaluations are now. That's done deal. So you're looking at next year right now, 2026, and how to basically, all the things that happened this year with your employees and your staff and library, looking at 2026. So these things should have been put up probably, last year. So we're behind the curve. So now I'm saying you're looking at 2027 because you can't piecemeal this stuff. These things are thought out, they're planned, and if you'll be functioning organization, you gotta plan not just 1 year, 6 months, 2 years. You gotta plan the 3 to 5 year plan, and the part of the 3-year plan is the next year. So you plan this year for next year. So now we're like behind the thing. So right now you plan for 2027. That's basically where you are right now.
So, I guess I'll ask the board, would you feel
And that's me.
would you feel comfortable putting this off at a month, and it may throw it, but that will give the board a little time to maybe review some of the strategic reports. You could send out a link to the Germantown and maybe to the Monarch,
sure.
okay?
Yeah,
Does,
I think it's worth 30 days to research for $20,000.
to get us
Yeah.
comfortable on what we're doing.
Yeah.
Does anyone
Well, it's
have,
actually 20,500, but yeah.
does anyone have any objection?
No.
Okay. We'll move on. All right, with that, our next meeting will be November 18th. Assigned tasks.
The only one Steve has is to get more information on the biblioteca.
Biblioteca and strategic planning.
And now the strategic plan. And the board has to look at the strategic plan and come back if they have questions at next month's board meeting. And Steve, you will let us know via email if our budget was approved from the Common Council?
Yep, after the budget hearing,
I think that's the
I'll send
first
it
week
out.
in November. Okay, with that, we are adjourned for the official meeting, but I will read my statement and then we will go into closed session, provided everyone votes for it. I'd like to entertain a motion to adjourn into closed session pursuant to state statute, section 19.851C, considering employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility. Library board, library director evaluation. We need to have a roll call. Joseph?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
Barb? Deb, yes. Tim?
Yes, I have a question. Can I join physically for this portion of it?
Yeah,
Can I
come
show
on.
up site?
Come on over.
Okay, perfect. I just couldn't get out of here right away, so that's why I joined virtually.
Okay.
I'm on my way.
All right.
Alrighty.
Then we get a bathroom break.
Jay? Well, we'll take a
Yeah.
personal break. Jay, you said yes? Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you all. We will go into closed session after our